I recently found out that I was stereo blind, meaning I could only see the world in two dimensions.
This was a really cool video that illustrates a bunch of stuff about the visual processing system that we often don't realize is happening. And the first is actually a slight correction to one thing he says about his visual processing, and that is binocular vision is not the only system that we use to process 3 dimensions in our environment. In fact, it's only really useful up close. Once we get out to a distance, that deviation between the 2 images goes largely away, and we rely much more heavily on things like comparing something to the surround or the relative size of the object. And you can actually see that with things like the moon illusion, where when you look up in the sky, the moon looks really small, but when it's down near the horizon where it's compared to trees and stuff, it suddenly looks large, even though if you held up a coin, it would be exactly the same size in both positions. And if you go back and watch his video, which I highly recommend, he also talks about a bunch of things he did in order to essentially avoid ever getting diagnosed with vision issues and getting glasses until much later in life. And all the ways he kind of compensated for this visual difficulty. Because the brain is really good at using the available information to sort of do the best it can. And we build these images around us that are much different from what's actually coming into the eyeball. Another great example, your vision is usually clearer with both eyes than with just one or the other. Think about that. Both images are more blurry than the final product. Your brain is essentially doing noise reduction by comparing the 2 images and filtering out the garbage to give you an image clearer than either of the actual images coming in. I don't know about you, but I think that's really, really cool. Anyway, I could talk forever about vision, but I just thought this video was great and brought up a few items I wanted to share. But if you have any other questions, just throw them in the comments as always.